Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to tonight's board meeting. It's October 20th. It feels like December 20th. Justin, can you please take attendance?
Joe Abdella, Victoria Salon, Stephanie Kolnick, Jesse Liebman, Angela Maciulo, Alex McNaughton,
Here.
Justin Ongley here, Jen Pody,
Here.
Jane Sargent, Pete Tagley, Mary Weber, okay, and Christine Weidig.
Thank you. Next is public comment on agenda items. Is there anybody to say anything? Ben is saying no. Thank you. Next is consent agenda. Is there anybody that would like to, anything that, add or edit anything on the consent agenda for the October 6th meeting? Well, we'll move on to B first, but I'm just talking about October 6th first. I bet you did. Great. So then we will, since nobody has anything to say, we will adopt October 6th and move on. So for B, this is really only for myself, Justin, and Angela, because we were the three that attended the hearing. What I will say, Alex, is that we had a request from Ms. Shore to revise to revise the minutes to reflect the minutes in more detail. We had sent the minutes to our attorney, the board's attorney, to review, and attached are the revised minutes that that he just reviewed. And so these are the minutes that our board's attorney decided to, and so that's what he reviewed.
Okay.
And that's what based upon our board's attorney, that's what he felt that they reflected. So
Very good. Thank you.
you're welcome. So can I have a motion?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This really is for the three of us, so I know it seems a little confusing based on the yeah, so it's just for the three of us. I know it's a little confusing, but thank you. I'm sorry for the three of us that were at that hearing. So thank you for that. And moving on for the presentation tonight for the agri-science progress rather. Hi, Tyler. Welcome tonight. We're happy to see you. Yeah. While this is being fixed, do we know when the furniture is coming into the library so we will be able to move back into the library?
Everything's in except the actual shelving, which is being installed next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. So hopefully our next meeting will be back in the library.
I think we have a meeting November 3rd.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it'll be in for that one.
It's
November 5th that it's being installed. I'm off a week. It's
okay.
2 weeks from Wednesday.
Okay, great. That'll be exciting. Thank you.
So I did make a little slideshow. It is in the agenda. I think there was some just some mistakes in getting it up here on the board, but that's okay. So it is in here, but basically I started with just the events that we've held this year so far, starting this summer. So I highlighted the chapter officer leadership training event. This is an event where the newly elected officers from the end of last year, they meet, they do team building. They become acquainted with just the expectations of the roles. It's a good way to set the tone for the year. And it's a really important event for us just to kind of lay the foundation for the kids throughout the year. They'll be doing these positions, and there's just some pictures of their games and whatnot that they did that day. After that, I put some pictures of the Bridgewater Fair. So we were there all 3 days. This is a yearly tradition that we've done. We brought Chief and Radar, our two little minis this year, to showcase them. One of our students from last year, Mina Kier Eldon, a graduate, she's a state officer at UConn now. So she came to the booth for a little bit of time, spent some time with our kids, helped us just engage with the public. Really successful event, a lot of student turnout. One thing about all of these events I've noticed is there has been an uptick in just participation in general, especially for the younger kids, the sophomore and freshmen. I really think that they're beginning to buy in a great deal, and it shows in just their numbers at these events. Which leads us to the freshman orientation. That was the same day as the Chippewa freshman orientation. One of the things that we did this year was we tried to combine both events on the same day. So not only do parents not have to come back twice, they can, a student who's a freshman in the ag science program can then do the Chippewa orientation the same day. So just another way that we tried to integrate the program into the school seamlessly. Then I've got the Bridgewater Tractor Parade, which is my favorite event of the summer / school year. Some good pictures there. There's a picture of my son holding the trophy. We won that was last year, best embodiment of Bridgewater. That's not this year's trophy, but it was fun. He's 2. He was at the event, but again, we had 14 students participate. That's the max that we can tow on our float. They made a Halloween themed float, which was also used in the Roxbury Tractor Parade. That was another great event and a good tradition for our program. The Big E corsage making workshop. Good picture there of the participants. This is a workshop where we prepare students to do demonstrations at the Big E. So there's a corsage making booth there where all the centers go. They have kids do different arrangements, and there's a contest, but the kids in general, they all make corsages to give out to fair participants. This is our workshop that we host just to make sure that all the kids know how to do that. So it's a fun workshop that we host right here in the Floral Lab. And our freshman social, that was the end of September, mid to end of September. The premise of this event is that we have a lot of students who come to us from all these different districts, many of whom have never met each other. So this is an event. We had over 40 freshmen attend this year out of 54 kids in the program. So most of our freshmen came. We do different team building workshops that kind of force them to talk to each other and interact with each other. We do different games, hay toss, we grill food. It's a good time. And again, it's just helping us to build upon this culture of the program and just the positive environment. I mentioned the Big E workshop. There's some photos of our kids at the Big E. We brought 28, 2 busfuls, making arrangements, networking with the public in official dress, representing Chippewa proudly. And then just most recently, the Roxbury Tractor Parade was, I think it was 2 weekends ago. Mr. Belinsky brought the kids to this one. But again, just another good turnout. The tractor parades are a lot of fun, especially in the fall. But yeah, so that was basically since September, end of August. So it's been busy. As far as just general program updates, aside from the events that we've hosted, I have started recruiting. So I've visited most every school up to this point. I still have one more school that I am presenting at next week. It's a new school. It's a small, it's like a small Christian school. I can't remember if it's in Danbury or Newtown, but it's a new school. So that's good to have our program attract another new audience. And yesterday or 2 days ago was our fall expo. So this was in the past, this was our equine expo. We've expanded the event to encompass something for every demographic. So we had stuff for little kids, stuff for current students, stuff for parents. We tried to have an activity for every interest. So we had floral design workshops. We had a little petting zoo for kids. We made a roasted chicken lunch for the guests that day. Obviously, we still had the equine portion of the event. We did hay rides for the tractor enthusiasts. And what else did we do? It was a really, really busy day, but we had over 120 paid admissions into the equine portion of the event. And then we had over 50 students attend. So we had over 170 people come to the event. Great success. A lot of fun. That was just on Saturday, so I don't have pictures in here. And then upcoming is Nationals is next week. That's hard to believe, but we'll be sending 33 students, I believe is the number down there. 3 teams to compete. Miss Davenport actually coached 3 Nationals winning teams. So that is an achievement, and they'll be competing at Indianapolis next week at the National FFA Convention. And then right after that, we have UConn Fall CDEs, which is basically the contest that determine next year's national convention teams. So hopefully we can do well at nationals, go back to UConn, and just continue the success and have more students place well, and hopefully go to Indianapolis next year. And then before we know it, we'll be at the Holiday Bazaar. So there's an event every 1 or 2 weeks. You know, this is a busy time of year, but it's fun. And it's good for kids, and they're certainly showing it and being involved. So that is pretty much gets us through winter. So if there's anything else that you guys would like to know about, I'd be happy to fill you in. I think it's 166, I think. 160 something. I want to say 166. You know, I should have studied on the numbers before this meeting, just planning ahead. But I want to say that it's in the 50s for Region 12, about a third. Yeah. Yep. I think it increased. It was 150 something last year, so we went up about 12 students total in the program. This year we have 166 kids in the
Okay.
program.
Not too far from last year, I would.
Yeah, not too much more than last year.
Okay, thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
Yeah, I'd like to commend Tyler for wonderful job. And this agri-science program is exceeded all my expectations and even my hopes. So, I mean, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you guys. This is a team effort, obviously, and you know, I am fortunate to have kind of came here when things started to pick up in momentum, and we have a really good team of people in this building that help, and I appreciate that as well. But yeah, this is definitely not something I can do on my own, but
Very important question we all want the answer to. Very important. I have the reindeer. I have the snowman. What are you making this year for the holiday bazaar? I also have the flower.
oh, good.
That's not the holiday bazaar.
We haven't got there yet. We want to get through nationals. As soon as we get through nationals, will be kind of our let's get to work on the bazaar. Stay tuned though.
I Googled, I saw a really cute Christmas tree you can do.
Okay,
Very cute.
that's cool. If you want to send a picture of
I will
it.
submit.
Okay, sounds good.
Jane, do you want, here, give her a microphone?
Fully agree with Alex. We were at the event Saturday, and I'm just always, your kids are just so engaged. It was fabulous.
Saturday was a really
you.
fun
Thank you.
day and a lot of happy people, good weather. It was really just, we couldn't have asked for a better day than Saturday.
Yeah.
And we made some money too, which is, so yeah, it was a home run, I think.
Anybody else? No? Well, I think you're pretty gracious, but I think the uptick was you when you came and your team. So I think that you definitely helped in creating a great team and great momentum. So thanks a lot, Tyler. Yeah.
Keep on keeping on. For sure.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all of your hard work and your enthusiasm. So thank you so much.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you guys.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to reports and recognition. Again, my report is short and sweet. I would like to congratulate the Chippewa Girls Cross Country team. They took the top spot and are champions of the Berkshire League. So congratulations to them. That's a huge, huge win. So once again, we are so proud of all of our student athletes. So that's a big, big win. And I'm going to move on now to our superintendent and his report.
Thank you, Mrs. Bodie. And there could be a few more new points on the athletic front. I think tonight I just found out that I think the soccer team is co-Berkshire League champions because they won today. And I think it could be with the field hockey team too. I'll get more info for you on that, but there's a lot going on there. Anyway, it is a busy time in our schools, and I've been privileged to see a lot of it. Great stuff going on in the elementary schools. Next week, for example, actually this Wednesday, is something called Unity Day in all 3 schools, where they focus on inclusion and anti-bullying and kindness and developing the kind of skills so that students can be upstanders and support each other and build a really good school climate. And that's a strong program. And then there's a lot of good academic stuff going on in the elementary schools, especially in terms of science. They were studying the science of bubbles at Burnham. There's a lot to that with surface tension and chemistry and so forth. And plant seedlings at Booth. I got to actually see that. I was invited down. I don't know if I told you this already, but I was invited down to Mrs. Testani's class where the kids had started with just seeds. And I was there for the graduation ceremony where they turned into little plants and they actually moved them to a hydroponic tower, where the plants are grown by nutrients and water just being passed through their roots. And they're learning by doing. They're learning the science of botany by planting and learning what works and what doesn't. And they played pomp and circumstance when they graduated the seedlings into the thing. That was kind of a heart stopper there. And then over at Washington Primary School, they had a unit in the 5th grade, and this is more important now than ever, maybe, on the process of citizenship, voting, selection of a platform and policy and what you believe and why, describing steps to how to achieve that platform, tell how they would and why they would make good leaders, all the students, and think about that, a leadership workshop. And then one student is advancing on to the state, they call it the Kid Governor competition. So one of our own might be elected, we'll see. And the Washington Primary kids also had a great day over at the Washington Fire Department. And we're very grateful to all the first responders who showed up to teach the kids about safety and help them see the spot where they would collect and reunify if we ever faced an emergency. There was also a canine present, and the kids loved that. At Chippewa, they had their PSATs last week, which is still a very important event to help us collect actionable data on how students are doing on the looking towards the SAT and using that data to adjust our instruction to help them move forward. And it's also a good external check on our teaching and learning on what we're doing. They had their trip again to Steep Rock. You've heard me talk about that with great pride before. That's the project where middle school kids partner with Steep Rock to actually design and create a brochure, a travel brochure that visitors to the park will use. And in doing that, they research science and literature and nature and all these things to live up to our call for project-based learning, service learning, where the students are creating artifacts that are actually valued beyond the school, consumed by the community. So that's really neat. And I did get to go to the Ag Expo. Tyler spoke about it a lot. It was really neat. I saw a lot of great food. He made all these chickens. He did, I don't know, he made roasted these chickens that were just lovely. I was on a diet, so I didn't eat, but I smelled them. Yeah, I laid off that day, but then it was beautiful. He's a great cook. I saw people, demonstrations on riding and dressage and on veterinary care and horse care. They were making jack-o'-lanterns. The kids loved it. There was a flower arranging class where I saw them actually putting the flowers into a pumpkin. The pumpkin became the centerpiece for the arrangement. I went on a hayride. I did not throw my back out or pull a hamstring, which is good. The hayride was lovely. Um, it was a great time and very well attended. Okay. And then lastly, I'm going to ask everybody to be on the lookout, especially parents and community members, for a communication that'll be coming out from Mrs. Bliven about my superintendent's coffees. And this is just going to be a chance for folks to get some FaceTime with me, although my big joke is I have a face made for radio, so I don't know how that'll go for people, but doesn't anybody think that's a little funny? Oh, come on, give me a little something on that.
Heard that before.
Oh, you've heard that joke before? Okay, so that's why you didn't laugh. Anyway, no, it's a good time for folks to be able to chat with me and what's that? It's podcast. There'll be two of these events at each school, one in the morning and one in the evening. People will have the chance to sign up and RSVP. There'll be no set agenda. The goal is for people to be able to talk to me and tell me what they're thinking. I listen, they feel respected and heard. And then I also get to share a few things. I communicate on our behalf about what we're doing and what's important to us. And so I hope those are well attended. We're going to try to make that so. And then finally, I have a few business items, personnel appointments. Daniel Moore is now the ice hockey assistant coach at Chippewa. And there's a field trip notification. You probably are aware by now that every year our choir goes down to Radio City Music Hall and performs down there. And it's not an overnight, but it's an out-of-state trip. So I think based on that, we're supposed to at least notify the board. I don't remember if you vote on it or not. Maybe Jen, you can educate me on that, but I at least tell you about it. And I know this gig by now, but I also asked Beth for a few notes so you could see what they're doing. It seems like it gets better and better every year, the experience for the kids. And this year, they're going to be part again of the Sounds of Christmas experience at Radio City. And they're accepted. They audition and they're accepted, and they perform a 5-minute holiday themed set, a cappella on stage at Radio City Music Hall with a packed hall. So it's a performance opportunity for our kids that they otherwise might not get, which music is a performing art, and I love it when I see our kids getting a chance to do that. So the audience is about 6,000 people from all over the world. A lot of them are there to see the Rockettes, but our kids will have that audience as well. They also go to the Rockefeller Center to see the Tree and Sights. Then they share a group meal in a New York City restaurant where the waiters and waitresses are Broadway aspirants who sing. So they'll get to have that experience too. It's a really neat thing. I'm glad that the board has supported the trip before, and I hope you'll continue to do so. And thank you very much. And that's my report for today.
Thank you, Don. Moving on to the treasurer's report, Alex.
Yeah, I'd like to let Nicole speak first here about this, because this is very timely, because we were just talking about the Radio City trip, and Nicole's got some information on that.
Yeah, so this is actually an action item later under new business, but
Was it actually?
yeah, I think it's a great time to talk about though, Alex, I agree. Don was speaking about our choral teacher, Miss Harbison, and I was talking to her about the kids' trip to Radio City, and with the meal package that Don was talking about with the Broadway entertainers, the cost of the trip is a little over $300 per student for the day. And that's been difficult for some of our families, especially given the time of year, it being between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And as you may or may not know, we insure our liability and property insurance through a company called the KERMA. I often say KERMA and people wonder what it stands for. I have to actually look it up. It's the Connecticut Interlocal Risk Management Agency. They insure most municipalities in the state of Connecticut. And what's great about them is when they have a good year, they give back to their members. They call their insureds their members, they're partners with us. And we recently received our member equity distribution for last year, which is not anticipated year to year. So it's a revenue that we take in that is not otherwise yet budgeted. So this year's member equity distribution was $9,770. I think we talked about it at the last meeting because Bridgewater also got one and they had a photo op with a huge check and we only got the small check. But later on, there's an action item to ask if we could use those funds, which are not otherwise spoken for, to support the kids to go to Radio City to lower the cost of the trip.
I will wait till later to discuss my opinion on it.
You don't have anything else to report? Okay. Okay. Will you? Okay. Hopefully you have something positive to share later. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Committee reports, Agri-Science Committees, Mary, she's not here tonight, so we will wait to hear from her another time. Curriculum, Justin, do you have anything to report?
Nope, nothing new. Our next meeting is November 17th.
Okay, thank you. Ed Advance, Joe?
I was unable to attend the October meeting, so nothing new to report.
Thank you. Finance and Operations, Alex?
Yeah, we're gonna have a meeting and at that time, we're gonna discuss this Radio City situation. But as of right now, let me just hold off till we get to that action item.
Okay. Labor negotiations, Vicky?
We have our first meeting tomorrow, so nothing to report as of now.
Thank you. Policy, Justin?
Our next meeting is December 8th. Otherwise, nothing new.
Oof, okay. I can't believe we're talking December. Strategic long-range planning, nothing to report. We had our last meeting a couple weeks ago. So moving on to old business. Consider for approval, second reading of policy 5114, student.
And I'm going to ask the board if this could be tabled until our November meeting, because I had by serendipity, I was meeting with one of the Shipman lawyers about something else who's on their policy committee, and she mentioned to me that they're undertaking several further revisions to their model policy 5114. Nothing too substantial. I think it's going to be an even more current version of the idea of challenging behavior and a few related concepts, but I don't think it's efficient for me to bring the policy forward to you once and then again after they change it. So she says they should be done with that final revision by October 31st. So I have reason to hope that we could come back for that second read. Well, maybe it'll be at that time a first read of the latest revision, however we're going to construe it. But I'll have it for you. And again, I'll summarize the key changes to save you a lot of unnecessary reading. And I'm hopeful that we can move forward with it in early or mid-November, if that's okay with the board.
Thank you. New business, consider for approval use of KERMA member equity distribution to support a student trip to Radio City Music Hall for December 12th.
Can I speak on that? Basically, we spend a lot of money on different parts of I'll call them extracurriculars, the things outside, and we don't really support the music that much. This program, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was going to cost each student $250. And to be honest, that would eliminate quite a few of the kids from going. Parents couldn't afford that, particularly this time of year. I think that if we approve using the CIRMA money, it'll drop that number down to about 55. Is that right, Nicole?
So the original estimate, yes, that was the numbers that I originally got from Ms. Harbison, but now that they've added the meal, in the past when the kids have gone, I think this is our third year, possibly our fourth year going. In the past, the kids brought cash with them to eat, and Ms. Harbison is trying to arrange more of planned meal. So we've now added the cost of that meal, which is about $50 a student. So it brings it more to $300 a student. So with this funding, it would offset $200 of that. So it would still be $100 a student.
$100 a student, but that, I think that there was a good interest already at $250 or $300. But my feeling is I'd hate to exclude kids, particularly this time of year. And I think it's a good thing that we spend this money on some of the, arts. And that's just my personal feeling. And we're going to discuss it at F&O at our next meeting and then come back to you all for final approval.
So we don't have time to wait for the next F&O. I think we need to approve it, have the board approve it tonight because they do need to purchase the tickets for Radio City. So yeah, it's a little bit more time sensitive that. So if the full board could consider it now. And then if finance and operations has questions at the next meeting as to how I booked it or where we posted the expenses, we can go through those technicalities, but it's really just about taking in that revenue and repurposing it for that purchase for the kids.
Question. Do we have, 100 is still, a lot of money for some people. Do we have, at Burnham, we had something called the Sunshine Fund. Do we have that? A way to help a kid that can't do that 100?
So Don may be able to speak more about this, but I believe there's a hardship fund in the student activity fund at Chippewa.
There are some funds available that you turn to if a student has trouble, let's say getting a yearbook or going to the prom or going on a certain trip, but not enough probably. I don't know that it would be quickly exhausted if we spent $100 on every student. But for those who have special need, and this is done discreetly, of course, in a way that they'll talk to their counselor, and the counselor might make the principal aware. And there are some funds available in that line that could help. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't mean for everybody. I just meant if there was a student who still couldn't do it, was there something to push them over the line?
I think so. Yes.
And I think too, just to, we're going to be going into budget season soon. I think, Ms. Harbison and I talked about the fact that this is kind of a struggle every year. And I'm wondering if, this year, if we put a line item in the budget to support this trip, the way we do the Model UN or the Indianapolis trip for FFA, I'd love to see the board approve it as a permanent budget line so that Ms. Harbison doesn't have to go through this every year wondering where the funding's coming through.
I think that would be wonderful if that would be something. Agreed.
You need a motion?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the use of the CIRMA refund to help finance the Radio City Music Hall on December 12th, 2025.
I have a second? All in favor?
Uh,
Anyone opposed? Abstained? It moves. Wonderful. So that is great news. So thank you very much for the support. Okay, moving on to the next one. Book proposals for 6th grade and 12th grade, ELA. Who's discussing?
So at our last curriculum meeting, which I think was a couple weeks ago, can't remember the date, 2 books were brought to us for approval. One was Ban This Book, which was for 6th grade, and the other one was for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest for 12th grade. At the meeting, what the 2 teachers or the teachers involved with these book proposals gave us very detailed information on what the book was about, how it fits in the particular curriculum, how it's aligned with the Chippewa learner outcomes. And they also addressed, if there were any sensitive issues. And correct me if I'm wrong, anyone on the committee, I think we resoundingly agreed that these were both worthwhile books for the middle and high school curriculum.
Yes, and just a little bit of a background. The first book is called Ban This Book. And in the book is age appropriate to middle school and sixth grade, and it's about a sixth grader who goes to the library, the school library, to check out her favorite book. I think it's The Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. Isn't that it? I don't know if anybody here read that book as a child. I remember it dimly, but I don't know if I read it. And she gets there and the book is gone. And she asks why, and the librarian says that the book is banned. And the book becomes a learning experience for kids about how book policies are set and how to advocate and develop agency, your own personal ability to advocate for an issue. And she goes through the process of following the board's policy, which is well crafted, like ours is. It's just that it didn't get followed. She follows that policy like a good citizen to try to get the book restored to the library, is the story behind it. And the teachers believe that it's a real way to bring kids into real world events and probably even maybe talk to or present at some point to this board about what they learned about policies like this and what they learned about our policy and how it would work in our library and how that's different from what happened in the book. Really good learning opportunity. And the second book you might know was a movie, and it's a investigation. It's a higher level. It's for seniors, really, I guess, about who has the power to decide norms and what's normal, and who has the power to control everybody else, and how we form our own identity. I guess is Justin, you could probably give a better summary of it than that, but that's my understanding of it. And in both cases, the teachers feel a real opportunity for these books to bring students, help them love literature and connect the learning to things that are going on in their world.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
Second. Thank you. All in favor? Night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.